Hey guys, Conkeldurr is here. Today I'll be your judge, your jury, and your analyst, and today I bring to you my best anti-meta team for Master Premier Classic, and I actually haven't lost a set with this team yet. For the past, 3 days, I've gone either 4-1, 5-0, or 3-2. Mostly 4-1s, because for some odd reason, no one is using Magnezone lead, and it's really, really good. Couple that with a double save switch strat, and you have an absolute nightmare of thickness and just charge move pressure that puts down your opponent. You're going to see in this shoutcast, I'm going to go against a fighter. Obviously, you're going to have, it's like, wait, what? This is like ABA. Kind of, yes, because your Magnezone and Snorlax are weak to fighters, but we face a fighter in this shoutcast, and it's perfectly winnable. And you'll see why. But before we get started, it's going to be my therapist mental health tip of the day. As usual, you could skip this by going ahead of the chapters. And this is actually how to stay focused at work. A lot of you, including me, are going to go back to work on Monday, or you've already gone back to work already. So this is the mental health professional advice tips way to staying focused at work and in getting back to it really good and being productive. Because I'm not going to lie, I actually get really distracted. Yeah, I get distracted when I'm not, like, engaged in work. But I can easily go back to it. At the same time, it's what it is. You know, we procrastinate. It's what we do. So, this is from Psych Central. As you know, I love Psych Central because all of their articles are reviewed by mental health professionals or specialists in their fields. So, these have great tips. These are A-grade tips like eliminating triggers, routines, exercising regularly, to-do list. One of them is snacks, which is good because you can kind of eat and work at the same time. I typically will eat oatmeal. Oatmeal is my go-to lunch because all I do, it's super easy to make and I can eat it while working, and it's something that I can eat really quickly at the same time. And it keeps me full. So definitely take a look at this article. And without further ado, this is my best anti-meta team for Master Premier Classic. And yes, I have it. This team is awesome and I haven't lost a set with it yet. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here are the battles. First off, I got Magnezone onto Metagross. This is a winning lead for us. Magnezone lead is criminally underrated. I don't know why people aren't using it a lot more because it beats a lot of the meta. And I haven't been running like into a lot of Excadrills for some odd reason. You lose the lead with this team, you stay switch in a Gyarados, and then Snorlax and Magnezone can close out. Even if you do see an Excadrill, one Wild Charge does literally like 40% of its HP, just because Excadrill is so squishy. So as you see, our opponent is electing to stay in. Usually what you're going to do is you're going to build up to either a Mirror Shot and Wild Charge or double Wild Charge. In this case, my opponent is completely giving up their Metagross, with me giving up one shield. I'm going to switch in a Snorlax. What I love about Snorlax and Gyarados together is that this team is also a double save switch. So Snorlax is one of the most solid save switches in this meta, especially since fighters are a lot less popular in the back because of things like Metagross and of course the ever popular Togekiss. I'm trying to time my licks correctly so that they don't get an extra one in. What you have to do is you have to fire 2 licks and then body slam. If you've been playing long enough, you can kind of get the timing down consistently. It's just really annoying because Togekiss is Togekiss. This is going to be a flamethrower. It's not going to even be able to take out our Snorlax. Somehow it lived, and I was fully expecting my Snorlax to die in this scenario. I was like, oh, it lived. Okay, that's even better. We're in the one shield now, and now I can farm down this Togekiss and also blew all of its energy. For those that don't know, it takes 10 charms for them to get to flamethrower. So they used up all their energy, and now there's a Gyarados in the back, and now you're about to go bye-bye. Our opponent can choose either 2 things. 1, you can top left, or 2, you could eat a double Wild Charge, and your Gyarados is going to go through a whole lot of pain. You choose your poison. So, like Zenitsu, for those of you that love Demon Slayer, and I do as well, we're going to thunderclap our opponent's cheeks to death. Well, their Gyarados to death. And our opponent just submits to the clapping because of the fact that they just let it go through because there was no point. They knew they were going to get double charged, wild charge, and that's game. Now we got a Conkeldurr. So, this is a perfect example of what I tell you about losing a lead. So, this team is kind of bad. Well, it's not really kind of bad, but like, if you get a fire lead, it's actually really rough. But there's actually ways to play out of it. As you see here, we get a Conkeldurr. And Conkeldurr is going to fire off a Stone Edge. I'm going to be forced to a shield. and then they're going to switch out very likely, unless they choose to stay in with a Conkeldurr. In that case, it's going to be better, and they get a Togekiss. So our opponent wins the lead, and they win the switch as well. The reason why Gyarados doesn't have a bad matchup against Togekiss is because of the fact that Aqua Tail actually does a ton of damage. As you see here, one Aqua Tail does about 25% of Togekiss's HP. So our opponent wins lead, they also win switch. So how do you come back from win conditions, King of Charmanders? Well, as you see here, it's just, we're just gonna, yeah. They have a 2-to-1 shield advantage. I can send in Snorlax. Snorlax is able to lick down, and hopefully it doesn't lick down my battery. As you see here, my battery was actually running low, so I had to put back on my charger. I didn't realize that my charger wasn't plugged in at this point. I was like, oh, better put that in. And here's why I love Snorlax a lot, because as you see, Snorlax can beat both Flamethrower and Ancient Power pretty comfortably, and I still have Magnezone in the back. So, we have that Conkeldurr to deal with. I'm going to Body Slam, and I'm going to be able to hopefully take out Conkeldurr here, or we're going to break some shields. So here we start breaking some shields. But Snorlax is so thick that even though we're getting countered down, as you see here, Snorlax is still able to live. And now Conkeldurr is going to Dynamic Punch, One Punch, yeet our poor freaking poor Snorlax to him. And now we have Magnezone with a ton of energy. Because I have so much energy, this is pretty much game. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to build up to 2 Wild Charges, fire off a Wild Charge first, clap my opponent's Metagross super hard and thick cheeks, because I don't know what kind of metal Metagross is made out of, but it looks pretty dang hard. That's what she said. Wait, this is a PG... No, this isn't a PG-13 channel, but you know, children, think of the children. So, I'm going to think of the children just like Anya for Spy X Family. For those of you that don't know, Spy X Family is actually one of my favorite animes because Anya's so dang adorable. Sadly, Metagross isn't a child, so because you're not an adorable child, you have to die. And as you see, that's GG's. And the child comes back in the next battle, except this time it's going to be in the lead. Spy X Family, again, like I mentioned, is one of my favorite animes. It's like it's adorable. It's just because of Anya, and it's a really good story considering Conan, our case closed, has been literally the dominant spy anime of all time. It's gone on for so freaking long. You could say Death Note is, but Death Note's kind of horror and spy at the same time, because if you know, Light's trying to figure out, or no, everyone's trying to kill Light or figure out or arrest Light, and then yeah. But as you see here, we get both of our shields for our opponent's commitment. Now they're down all shields. We have shield advantage, and Togekiss comes in. This is why I love this double save switch strat, because you can send in either you could send Gyarados or Snorlax. In this case, Snorlax against Togekiss. Snorlax actually will beat Togekiss in a 2-shield straight body slam, just because of how thick Snorlax is, and just because there's no stab move, unless it's Dazzling Gleam for Togekiss. I don't have to shield anything here. We can eat both an Ancient Power or Flamethrower comfortably. But speaking of Death Note, I will write my opponent's name. I don't know my opponent's name as of right now. I totally forgot about it. But I will write this Togekiss's name in my Death Note and cause it to die by 17,000 pounds. Actually, however much my Snorlax weighs, I don't know exactly. But I know Snorlax weighs a lot, and it happens to block the route of many trainers that come across it, especially in the original Pokemon game. So as you see here, now that our opponent is down 2 shield, I can essentially just go for double Wild Charge and end the game right here. 1 Wild Charge won't kill at this range for this Metagross, but what's going to happen in this scenario is that I'm going to be able to farm it down, especially since we just called that Earthquake, and I should be able to get a little of extra energy. This will make it so that even if this Gyarados does somehow get to an Aqua Tail and take me out, I can still take them out because I still have a whole Gyarados in the back. And I even have a Snorlax. By some means, I go battle-like, I have a sack. So, there's just multiple win condition here. So, unless our opponent wants to prolong this battle, all I have to do is crunch, and then that secures the dub for me. But yes, Death Note is one of the... It's an old anime, but it is one of the most iconic mind animes of all time. And it will leave you sweating. Speaking of sweat, I'm going to lick my opponent and cause a whole lot of sweat on their body because I'm just going to lick them to death. I didn't have to do that, but, you know, you just want to add the extra little bit of disrespect. And now we got Magnezone on a Dragonite. As per the example of this title, I have not actually gotten a negative set with this team yet. Yep, that's just how much underrated this anti-meta team hasn't gotten me a negative set yet. Factually, I have not gotten a negative set yet. I've played bad, I've done things, but like I for the past 3 days I've actually gone up like 400 elo, and I'm like, wow, I should try for Legend just because Master Premier Classic, and yeah, but we'll see. if I'm going to go for Legend, this is going to be my last time making it. So, as you see, we're going to get licked through, and then we're going to eat a Body Slam. I swap in a Snorlax like a boss, and managed to catch his Body Slam onto my Snorlax after getting the debuffs from my Magnezone cleared. We still have Gyarados in the back. My opponent can... I'm hoping they superpower me at this point. But they actually Earthquake me, and I'm like, wait, what? Earthquake? Which actually isn't a bad idea. Earthquake will actually take out an opponent's Metagross. So, Earthquake is not a bad idea. But we get a Dragonite, which secures the dub for me, because now we have Gyarados. Gyarados with Dragon Breath beats all the dragons in this meta, and Snorlax is actually going to be able to get to 2 Body Slams just because it's so godforsakingly thick. Our opponent's going to get to a Dragon Claw. I'm going to let it go. There's no reason to keep my Snorlax alive. Dragon Claw will go down, and it'll take out my poor eared. And now my flying sushi dragon... Well, actually, no. The new Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet, if you haven't played it, it's called Tatsugiri, which is basically a sushi fish, and it's also a dragon type. So we finally... It's kind of sad how Gyarados isn't a dragon type, and this little sushi fish Pokemon is actually a dragon type. I also got a shiny Tatsugiri in Scarlet, so I was like, oh my god, like I was going off. I was so happy, so excited. But anyways, Aquatails are gonna go off. We're gonna be able to send in. Yeah, this is game over. As you see here, all I have to pretty much do is double Wild Charge, get this Metagross low enough to where it's gonna get taken out, and Snorlax is still supremely healthy. And then I'm just going to slobber all over my opponent. As dirty as that sounds, it's exactly as it intended, because we're just going to absolutely obliterate our opponent. And my poor little UFO, electric UFO, metal thingy... Magnezone's a UFO. It's a UFO with 3 Pokemon. It actually has a pretty interesting design, believe it or not. Like, I like it a lot. Especially Shadow Magnezone, because it just looks pissed off all the time. It really does. So we're going to farm down our opponent's Metagross. I can just... honestly, I just want to double Aquatail secure the... I just want to farm this thing down to secure the dub. Because unless something happens, Gyarados wins CMP against Snorlax. So, if I don't somehow kill that Snorlax with 1 Dragon Breath, because 1 turn fast moves take priority over charge moves. However, I've lost CMP to... when I play my ABB team, I've lost CMP to a Dragonite that isn't a perfect. So, CMP isn't working right now, for some odd reason. The game isn't working right now. I don't know why. And I can't answer that for you because Niantic. Niantic is one of the worst companies of all time. We already know that. As you see, I'm going to Wild Charge and I'm going to swap out. This is just another play you could do. I didn't need to do. I could have stayed in. But my opponent is somehow... Why did you use Flash Cannon? When they used Flash Cannon, I was so confused. I was like, wait, what? Did my opponent just Flash Cannon me? And I was like, huh? What? I mean, it's still... Even if they had me in a match, it wouldn't have mattered. But as you see here, this is actually terrible. Our opponent has a Togekiss in the back. So, Togekiss is going to resist Dragon Breath. It doesn't quite resist Dragon Tail. As you see, Aquatail still does a ginormous chunk of damage. And then we can lock into this Togekiss into our Magnezone. However, what you want to always do, wait out your clock. I know you want to send in your Pokemon right away, but you want to wait out your clock and then fire. So I'm going to fire my Meteor Shots now, and I'm going to force the shields from this Togekiss. That shows me they really don't like what's in my back row, and it's a Dragonite. Dragonite with Snorlax. Snorlax with 2 shields is going to slobber all over my opponent. Wild Charge goes through, I send in my Snorlax, and Snorlax has 2 shields, and this is game over. A Snorlax with a 2 shield advantage, even if it doesn't have any energy, is still really solid, and it's going to absolutely wipe out our opponent. Snorlax at this point can actually even eat a superpower if I chose to, but I'm not going to risk that. We're just going to go ahead and double shield our way through. But I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. As you see here, Snorlax, and it's really heavy. You know what? What's one of the best food animes out there? No, there's a lot of food animes. No, wait, I forgot the title of the really popular one that finished, but I don't remember it. But yeah, food animes are life, and food is good. Anime makes food look really good for little reason, and I have to fill dead air because it's pretty much game over because I have a 2 shield advantage. All I have to do is disrespect this opponent's Dragonite. I hate Barney. I love you. Lou love me. We're not a happy family because we're not a family anyways. With a great big zap and a Wild Charge from me to you, I don't love you, Togekiss. And you have to die. I didn't make that rhyme, but hey, you know what? This is the time, because the battle is almost over. I'm going to charge you down, and I'm going to make your Togekiss go down, because it's GG's. No, seriously. And that's game! I hope you all enjoyed the battles. Togekiss goes down in the last epic battle. And as you see, this team is just absolutely nuts. And that's game. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I also hope y'all are enjoying VGC's return to Scarlet and Violet. If you look at the competitive scene, they're looking at a whopping 7K viewership, which is like 4 times more than what they had when Sword and Shield was out, which is absolutely nuts. But also, it's kind of really good to see like the meta, etc. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to probably try and dive into VGC because it looks interesting. I play Scarlet and Violet doing shiny hunts and etc. Anyway, so once I finish my shiny Charmander family, which is taking forever, I got my first shiny Charmander on my first egg batch. And after that, literally, I think I'm 500 eggs in and I haven't seen a second Charmander. And it's nuts. And I'm using the Matsuda method. I have a Ditto from China that I got over trading from someone in Discord. So, yes, it's not working. So I'm praying, please, the gods, while I'm doing my indoor treadmill, how many miles I've walked to try to get my second shiny Charmander and my third so that I can finish this set. But yes, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope y'all are enjoying Master Premier Classic. That makes my throat bleed because it's kind of, this team is, I haven't got lost a set, which is kind of nuts. I'm like, wow, you know what? If I actually tried, I probably would be like, I'd definitely be legend already, but like, I just don't care at this point. But it just goes to show you that I still got it. Well, it was actually pretty obvious. Like, putting this team together, it was like, okay, this. And then looking at the patterns, I'm like, wow, this team's destroying everything. So if you have these, use it. Otherwise, don't worry about building it because Master Premier Classic is now going away. And it's not coming back. So after this season, we will have to forcibly go into XLs, and there'll actually be a week where XLs will dominate, as in you will only be able to play Open Master League or Master Premier Classic, or Master Premier Cup, which is basically XLs without legendaries. That's basically all it is, or mythicals. So, not looking forward to that, and yeah. But, regardless of that, please like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Good luck on your Go Battle sets, and I will see y'all on the next video.
All the things that I have craved, these are what I could have received.